Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brendan, and if you didn't know, now you know. Welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to be comparing the 2021 Bitcoin bull run to the 2017 Bitcoin bull run. Now, not a lot of people are talking about this, but these two bull runs share a lot of similarities that I think need to be talked about. And I also want to break down exactly where the support is on Bitcoin, because if it breaks this 200 EMA on this daily timescale, things could start to get ugly really fast. So if that sounds interesting at all, make sure you guys stick around for the entire length of the video, as there will be important information discussed the entire way through. But that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this one. Now, the number one thing that I have said to people in Discord and people in real life that I know is that this bull run is starting to look a lot like the 2017 going into 2018 bull run, and we'll show what that looked like in just a second. But what I mean by that is that if you guys don't remember, this is just the current bull run that we're on right now. Of course, Bitcoin breaking this 50 EMA, moving down towards the 200 and bouncing off of it for the time being. Now, what we really want to see here is Bitcoin hold this and really kind of bounce and use this as support and continue to head back up towards that 50 EMA on the one-day time scale. But the biggest thing for me here that had me starting to worry about Bitcoin is that as Bitcoin continued to move up here and up and up and up, it started to fall off while the altcoins continued to go up. And we'll look at that in just a second. But as Bitcoin started falling, altcoins started running and money was flowing out of Bitcoin and into the altcoins. Now, this was a little bit of a warning sign to me, because this is exactly what happened if you were around back in 2017 and 2018. This is exactly what started to happen in Bitcoin. Bitcoin had this dramatic increase in price, as we'll go back to, and as Bitcoin ended, you had things like Tron, XRP, Verge, even Ethereum, Neo, a lot of these other cryptocurrencies start to, I guess, moon, you could say, as money was flowing out of Bitcoin. Now, that doesn't mean that Bitcoin was tanking while they were going up, but Bitcoin might have just been bleeding or even stable, sometimes falling more volatile, while these other cryptocurrencies were going up, 50, 100, 200, 500%. And this is what started to happen in the world of cryptocurrency right here. We had Bitcoin slowly bleeding out, forming a lower swing high and then tanking through support. And as all of this was happening, a lot of the mainstream altcoins continued to move up. I mean, of course, now you have Doge as a mainstream altcoin. You had XLM, Ethereum's another big one that has been running, Cardano, and the list goes on, even XRP. So as all of these other crypto altcoins have continued to go up, Bitcoin has been steadily falling for over a week now, really for almost a month since it hit its all-time high. So as this has been happening, I want to roll us back over here towards the 2017-2018 bull run and take a quick look at this. Now, we're going to look at this two different ways. We're going to look at this, number one, as the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, essentially the altcoin market cap, and then we're going to look at this as we're looking at it right now, which is the Bitcoin market cap. Or excuse me, the Bitcoin price. So with this being happening over here, we can see that this market, really the Bitcoin market, came up, topped out around mid of December, and then continued to form this lower swing high, continued to tank. We moved our way down to the 50 EMA, broke through it, of course, went to the 200 EMA, and then tested the 50 as resistance. Now, this is one of the big things that I'm going to be looking for on Bitcoin to see, if we really are going to be comparing apples to apples versus apples to oranges, Bitcoin should reject this 50 EMA if we fully break down through it. Now, something to watch here is that there were a little bit of fake outs when this was happening. Bitcoin did break down and kind of wick through this area only to hold above it, but once it did actually break down, hit that 200 and then bounce back up to the 50, that's where a little bit of the danger zone was, because we rejected the 50 EMA on Bitcoin and only to head down even further from there. And this started a very much, I guess, a much larger trend after the rejection of the 50 took place and after the 200 broke. So going back over to where we're at right now, I just wanted to kind of show this so that you guys had an idea of this and what the time scale was. We're going to go back over to Bitcoin so that you guys can take one more look at this before we move on to the total market cap. And I want to speak of one more thing, and that is this 200 EMA on this daily time scale. Now, if this breaks on Bitcoin, guys, this is going to be a very strong support that Bitcoin has to hold, because this is a previous all-time high on top of the 200 EMA. This is essentially just double layered support for Bitcoin, that if it does not hold this, this is going to be a very telling sign that Bitcoin could fall a lot more. And in fact, I think that if Bitcoin breaks this area, I really don't see anything stopping it going to the bottom of this range, which is going to be around $30,000. So this is going to be my two areas right now. Again, there is some support in this area. However, I don't really see if it can't hold this previous all-time high. I think it's going to fall towards the bottom of the range where support was previously, which is still, if we want to measure this out, about a 30% move to the downside if it breaks this. So I think, again, Bitcoin has to be really careful in this area. Things could start getting dangerous if the 200 EMA breaks. That's usually a sign, and a lot of people are going to flame me for this, but that's usually a sign that the bull market is over, either once the death cross happens or once you have a rejection of these EMAs and a hard breakdown. So I am being very, very careful at this range because there are a lot of warning signs, and Bitcoin, again, is on the verge. Now, a lot of people are playing with this with a stop loss, which I totally get and understand, and honestly think it's kind of smart to play this with a stop loss, because if it does hold this massive support, it's going to rip, and if it doesn't, it's going to tank. So, or it should tank. So, let's go ahead and move on to the total 2. Now, if you guys don't know what the total 2 is, this is just the total cryptocurrency market cap excluding Bitcoin. And I want to zoom out just a little bit so that you guys can kind of get a good picture of what this looks like. So this is where we're at right now. Of course, altcoins have been ripping for the most part. Now, over the past like 2 days, you can see that over the past like 2-3 days, they have been dumping hard. But up until this week, they had hit a new all-time high on the total altcoin market cap of $1.5 trillion, or nearly $1.5 trillion. So up until like 2, 3, 4 days ago, they were still very, very high up, whereas Bitcoin's been falling for months. Hence the idea that Bitcoin has been bleeding, or altcoins have been taking money from Bitcoin. Now, if we zoom out, just again, take a mental picture of what this looks like over here. And if we zoom out and we actually go all the way back to this 2017, and I say 2017, the altcoins really started running in 2018. So the Bitcoin bull run really ended, as we looked at, around mid-December. And so here we can see this is actually when the altcoins in 2017 really started to take off. So I think it was like December 16th is when Bitcoin took off, or excuse me, topped out. And this is where the altcoin run really started, with the altcoin entirety of the market cap going up, what was this, 164%. So with this same thing happening back in 2017, we can see that this guy topped out, a month later, almost a month to the day later, at January 8th. So this is what I'm going to be really hesitant about, and I know I'm rambling a little bit right now, but just be careful with this. Money was bleeding out of Bitcoin and into the altcoins in 2017 and into 2018 when this happened, and we are seeing the same thing today. So again, just take a little mental picture of what this looks like, all the wicks and everything, and then I'm going to freeze frame it, and then we're going to go right over to where we're at right now, and this is what it looks like. So, whether these two look too identical, I think that the charts are less identical on the total market cap too. Now, obviously, they do look similar. However, I don't think that they look identical. I think that the concept of the cryptocurrencies, especially just Bitcoin, flowing into these altcoins, is very, very identical. Again, Bitcoin having the initial run up, Bitcoin moving, the altcoins are not moving. Then all of a sudden they both start moving. Then Bitcoin stops moving, and then the altcoins continue to move very parabolically until the altcoins stop moving and Bitcoin stops moving, and then they dump collectively. Now, there are a couple exceptions here, like Cardano and XRP have held value pretty well. But for the most part, if we even want to go towards Ethereum, we can see that Ethereum has already started tanking very, very hard too. And measuring from its all-time high, Ethereum is down. Oops, that's the wrong tool. Measuring from its all-time high, Ethereum is still down over 25-26%, which is still a pretty hefty loss, whereas Bitcoin, I think, is down around 30%, so just a little bit more. Now, it's not often that we see Bitcoin more volatile than some of the altcoins, but in this case, it does make a little bit of sense because Bitcoin has been falling for longer. But that is just my 2 cents on Bitcoin. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. Very, very careful at this range. Again, with the 200 here, major support here, and us really repeating a lot of what we saw back in 2017. I can't emphasize that enough for people who have not been around in the space. If you can go watch videos from back in 2017 or just brush up on your knowledge of it. Bitcoin started to run, the altcoins didn't. Then they both started to run, then Bitcoin stopped running and the altcoins kept running, and then they both stopped running, and then they both started dumping. So that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Again, nothing I say is legal, financial, or tax advice in any way. This is just simply my analysis for myself and what I've noticed as someone who's been around in this space for years on years. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We got a lot more content like this one coming out. And I want to know your guys' thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Let me know if you guys agree with me, if you disagree with me, and why. And I look forward to talking with all of you down there. But until next time, guys, I will see all of you in the next video.